Okay, here's the half moon. It's waxing. This would be the first quarter moon right here. And this is about 40 power or so, 38 power I believe, something in that range. Pretty good detail, still pretty zoomed out, you know. Real crisp view of it with a lot of resolution and everything. And noticed one thing earlier. You can't really see them in the camera, they're not showing up really that well. But the background stars next to the moon, I've been tracking them in the past 10 or 15 minutes. They've been moving in relation to the moon. So the moon's actually moving in the opposite direction. Well, it's moving with the sky. It's just moving different from the sky, independent from the sky, and you can see it in a telescope pretty easy with the background stars. You get the camera stable and you can see the detail. See the craters along there. Now I'll zoom in a little more here. Give me 1 second to get the eyepiece. Okay, let's try get this up. Okay. Here's about 110 times magnification. You can see quite a bit more detail here, a lot more craters, just finer detail. We're in the limits of the scope magnifying it, you know. We're not going to get fuzzy or anything. We're still pulling out detail as we give it some more power. Make out some pretty small ones in that range. And the reason you can actually see see the haziness moving over the moon is actually clouds going in front of it, or clouds passing over our view of the moon. But the reason you can only see shadow detail next to the black line is called the terminators, because on the front face, that's where the sun's shining directly onto the moon and it's not casting a shadow. So as you get closer to the terminator, you're going to see the detail. Shadow's going to be cast over all the mountains and things like that. So that's the best time to look at the moon when it's in phase. Full moon's not quite as detailed. It's more like over here, just a big white area. You can still see some contrast, but not quite like the craters. There's a lot more detail there. It really pops out and turns three-dimensional when you see the shadow like that. Details. I'll try to zoom in a little more here. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, this is 220 power. Still pulling out pretty good detail. You can see a lot of tiny craters. You know, you see the craters inside of the larger craters and stuff like that. Like over here, those big ones in the middle. You can see craters inside of them. All that small detail right in the center of those two. You can see a lot of pitting and all that stuff like that. Big open plain there. And see them over here. Mountains right there. It's kind of tricky to hold this up with my cell phone, but it's showing up pretty good. Doesn't quite do it 100% justice. It looks a lot better looking with your eye, but this camera do pretty good for cell phone. Moon's always fun to look at because it every night, it'll move quite a few degrees in the sky, and then the phase changes. Like tomorrow, these big craters right here that are right on the edge of the Terminator are going to be looking more like these over here. Shadow's going to be a lot shorter over the edge of the crater, and these over here will probably start disappearing into the white, like this, and then you'll have a whole new set of craters to look at tomorrow. So it's something that changes pretty dynamic every night. It gets pretty bright too, and you have to have a filter to dim it down so you can pull out and see the detail in it and stuff. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed the small tour of the moon. And have a good evening, I suppose.